Hello and welcome to the Leckiju Lounge. This is your host Lex, and as my brother would always say, let's talk capella. Hello to all my beautiful viewers. Thank you for coming back and joining us for another episode. I am currently coming off of, last weekend I just finished a performance. So I had like a theater week, but it was only 4 days. I had like 2 rehearsal days, 2 show days. So that's what I'm coming off of. Honestly, it was not hard. I think it was pretty easy because we did Cinderella but it was like a school production or for like the ballet school, and I was just like a guest helping out, just like a small job. And so I didn't actually have to do much. My brother did it with me, so he was the prince. So his was like harder. It was dancing role, and I was just Cinderella's dad. So I really just had to, act in like the first home scene and the end home scene. So like I really just deal with props, but it was like an easy role, and the person playing the evil stepmother was like my friend. She so like it was super chill and fun. But yeah, that's what I'm coming off of. It was cool. Good experience. Possibly we'll do their school show next year as well. We'll see. I did it last year too. We did Sleeping Beauty, and it was fun. But quite the turn. What we're going to be talking about in today's episode is dating. Scary. First of all, scary. Everything dating. So let's get right into it. So I want to start by saying I'm not an expert at dating, okay? And I honestly don't even talk about dating that much like on my socials and like on my TikTok platform, but it's like I've been wanting to for a while, just because like, yeah, I'm not an expert, but I do have a bit of experience, not necessarily like not bad experiences, but also not like super good experiences. I feel like I haven't really had a relationship that really felt super right. And of course there's always moments, but like just to give a little history of like me and dating and things like that was when I actually started like my first relationship, and I use air quotes, which if you're listening, I just use air quotes. And I use that because it was like, looking back on it, it was more like a friends situation, because I was very young. I think I was 12 when it started, or maybe, I think so, but I just know I was very young. And there was a girl, so I was like at a dance studio, and like she was like the best dancer at the school. She like did all the leads, and I think it was a youth ballet, so she was the oldest, and she was like 15 or something at the time. I think she was like 15 or 16. She was, I think, like 4 years older than me, and we have an age gap. But I just like got close to her because, well, one, I thought she was like pretty. She was just like the prettiest girl there, and I thought her and I then just started talking, and we got like a really good bond, but a really good friendship. But in my head, that was like, because I did think she was pretty, and we were really good friends, and so like and like I think there was a level of attraction there on my end. So like then I just remember like we talked about it, and I wanted like us to date, and I wanted that like more than anything. So, and I basically like would convince her and like talk her into it for a while, and then like it would just be back and forth of like every once in a while, if she was in a like not so good mood that day, she would just say like, no, we're not, like we never have been. And I would just like be like in shambles, and my emotions were everywhere, and like I took it so seriously, and I would like I would cry about it all the time, and I don't think she really cared as much as I did. I'm not to say that we weren't good friends, because even like, we were just really good friends at the end of the day. Like we talked more than anyone at the studio there, like at the school. And so, but in my head, like that was dating. And yes, I did, like, we hung out. I went to her house most of the time, and we would just like chill out on the bed. We'd watch shows together, movies. We would literally just sit on the bed and talk for like hours. And that was just like so much fun. We would go to the pool. We did all kinds of things. And like to me, those were dates. And it's like my parents, they knew about it. They like, obviously I couldn't drive at the time. So like they drove me to some of them. And like it was everyone's understanding that we were dating. I don't know about her, what she was thinking, but like everyone in my family and like my friends and everything like that, I always like told them. And I was very proud of the relationship we had. So that makes one of us. So I guess that's my only dabble in the straight community. And so that also lasted for like 3 years, by the way, 3 years. And then after that, I want to say I was 14 or something when that ended. And it was really because we did long distance for like a year where she moved to Florida. And so it was like long distance for a year. And then after that, I think I went to boarding school and she was going to do Florida again. So, like another year. And, it worked out the first year because I didn't have a super crazy schedule and we talked a lot. We like most of our conversations were texting anyways, or like we would FaceTime. But then I went to boarding school and it was like from homeschool to boarding school, and it's an art school. And I've talked about the art school, so watch that video on my podcast. But it was just like very cultural. It's like a culture shock going from like homeschool to that. And then I was just like very busy, and her and I started out the year talking, but then I think a month or two in to the season in like fall, I remember just like we just talked less and less, and then decided like, hey, let's like not worry about keeping in touch. And I do think there was a little overlap there. I do not have evidence, but she started dating a guy there like very shortly after, and I think there was some overlap. But hey, I'm not gonna investigate that. I didn't really care enough to investigate that because me myself was already like feeling new interest and like interested in new people and wanting to like get to know people at boarding school. And I was like, but before, like, let's just close one door before we're opening any others. And maybe she did the same, or maybe because to her I might have just been a friend at that point already. But communication is key. So that is probably like, that's covering all my history of my straight era. But then let's see, I was 14 when that ended, and then maybe waited, I think, quite a bit until I was 16. Yes, I had graduated high school, went and started at a ballet company where there was a guy, again, in age gap, 4 years older than me, and he was, I just started seeing him in the hallway lots, because, like, we were at the same place every day of the week, but he was, levels higher than me. I was in the school there, and he was in the company, and, we just, like, we started talking in company rehearsals because the rehearsals involved the highest level of the school, which was me. So we were a part of the company when it came time for shows. And I am also 6'2", so I was often used in like the second company or company roles in the shows because I was tall and I like looked like the rest of them. Also because I was good, okay? And then I just started like spending more time with him and talking to him in rehearsals. And those rehearsals are so long. Like they would last from like, I want to say 11 or 12, like 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. and then go until like 6:15 p.m. And that's just, it's crazy. But like we would just sometimes be sitting for hours and hours and we would just talk. So that like was when we got to know each other for like a month. And then we went into the theater and we really got to know each other in the theater. And then, I mean, I talked with him for the next 3 years, but I was very young at the beginning, so we were like, we're just gonna keep this between us, and that's how it was. And then, I turned like 18, and then we were like making it a little more known. But like I've said, I still feel like that is it was like me definitely more proud of the situation. I'm like always very proud of my relationships. Otherwise, I wouldn't make them. So if you're not going to be proud of your relationship, like don't bother with it. Definitely don't bother with me, because I'm tired of people like not thinking that, not being proud of me or being proud to be with me or be seen with me. Like I'm over that. We're tired of that. We're not going to do it anymore. So yeah, that was that situation. And it was definitely had so many positives though. Like definitely I learned so much. I did feel like even though there were bad things like I was saying just now, I definitely felt like more loved than I ever have before. So by anyone. So that was definitely nice. And like relationships are just good learning experiences. So, I don't know. It was definitely more positive than negative, I think. I think the positive outweighs the negative. But yeah, 3 years of my life, and that's coming to a close, as in like now, or because he did have to move away. So, and like not just move away like in the States, he had to move to Switzerland. So I'm in Georgia, USA. So it's just like, and I don't really think it wasn't meant to be, which that's something that's actually weird. A lot of people like always think whoever they're like meant to be with, and I understand that. Or like you picture your life with them. And I could picture my life with him because it was just like for fun. Like we would talk about our future, but we also like were pretty clear about like we knew it wasn't forever, which was weird. I remember just like I had that feeling even in the beginning of it. I was like I really want this for now, but I know that it's not like he's not the one for me, which some might say don't even bother with it, or like why did you even go through it? But it's like just because it's not meant for forever doesn't mean I don't love this person. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't just like throw those feelings in the trash, bury them, and just pretend like you don't, like, right? So, and I was like, I also just want to enjoy this time. Like, I'm young. We were in the same city. So it's like, why not? Why wouldn't we enjoy this? And we had some really great times. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I don't regret it. Like, I think there were some things that I needed to go through. So no, I don't regret it at all. So those are the two only experiences of dating that I have. And I'm not even somebody who like just goes on dates just to go. Because I don't really see the point. I mean, I don't just lower my standards to go on dates, I guess. And we'll come back to that in a second. But because I've said like I've had both, I wanted to talk a little bit about gay dating versus straight dating. Not for me, because like I don't even feel like I really have I don't know, like a good opinion on it, just because like I said, my straight dating didn't even feel like, to me it was very real, but looking back I'm like I don't think it was real to like both parties. So, and it's also just like it was more of a friendship, like, and it's still very important to have, but to me it was more. So I guess, it felt like it. But I just wanted to talk about, on a general sense, gay dating versus straight, because it's very different. It is very different. I think for gay dating, it's harder, but it's also like more, I guess it's just like not classic at all. What am I trying to say? It's not very, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just like not how straight dating is, in the way that like that's what we were taught growing up. We're taught like on movies and TV, and like even by most people's parents, is like how dating goes. And like we're just taught this way of, a guy meets a girl, asks her out, takes her out, picks her up, things like that. And like even other ways of that. But it's like, okay, so if it's two guys going out, or if it's two girls going out, like all of that gets just thrown away, and like it's just start basic canvas. And this is like, oh, I've never been taught, how's this supposed to go? And I'm not really like, even if I were to be with a girl or go out with a girl, like I wouldn't want those traditional ways anyways. But it's like, just because I feel like it's uncomfortable, and I honestly don't think every girl wants that, like it's just, It's like we need to evolve. We need to evolve. Okay, my brother and I were talking about this the other day. We were talking about like how dating used to be. We're talking decades back, based and then versus how it is now. And how I feel like the tradition of a guy like taking a girl and like paying for the girl and things like that. I know that girls might want that. But my thought was, okay, in a time where women were told to be homemakers and told to do chores and raise their kids, and where men were told to go work and things like that, like if this is the model, then I understand a man paying for the woman, because it's the man's money for the household. Like if the woman doesn't have a job, how is she supposed to pay for the man? That's what I'm saying. But now I don't really understand women or girls who expect a man to pay when they like both have jobs, and when it's not that same system. That's what I don't get. I'm not understanding like why women sometimes say like I'm not like my man's paying for all my things, and every time we go out he's paying, but either you both have a job or you neither have a job, or like even if one of you have a job, it doesn't matter. It's like I understand that like the rights are not equal between sexes even today, but you are able to have a job. Like women are able to work most jobs that men are able to work in 2025. Also, there's really like no excuse to not be having a job or not being making money from something. Okay, there's so many ways to make money, and I say that as somebody who has like 4 different jobs, and like even my social media, like I don't make a ton of money from it, but like I'm making like scraps enough to take myself to dinner or take somebody to dinner. So it's like, I don't know. I don't understand the traditional mindset of some women when we don't live in that. I'm not saying you can't do that, but younger couples, I don't get it. If you want to have your family in the future and set your family up that way, which even then it's very hard to do this day and age, like to afford a family on one income, depending on the income, of course, but it's very hard to just, not work or not be making money at all. So I just think people need to not expect anyone to pay, man or woman. Like, don't expect anyone to pay. Just be very transparent with your partner about like, paying. For me, it's like when it comes to paying, like I said, I've only gone like the dates that I went on for the past like year or 2 years, 3 years. So the first year we didn't really go out because I was very young, and also I didn't have a car. So it was like it was also kept between us. So we didn't really have dates. But for the last like year or so, to a year and a half, when we were going on dates, it's like either like I drove to him, he drove to me. Like we didn't do the pickup thing because we didn't live super close together. It was just like, okay, whoever's closer, like you come to me this time. And when we went out, we typically would just like, you bought this time, I'm gonna buy next time. Simple, fair. The only thing that I will say that I like, he definitely paid more than I did. And it's because he would like feel bad about it, because he's just like, he knew he made more money than me, which is fine. Like he was 4 years older than me, and that's not really an excuse, but he was like more experienced in the job. So he like was higher up, and we both knew each other's income. We knew he was making more. So it's just like, there was that. And also he would eat like double what I would eat. No shaming here, but like, and he sometimes finished my meal. So, and he already had more food than me. So it's like, if that's the case, I kind of understand. But even if he did eat more, like I am willing to pay. I really don't care. Like if it made you happy, if you bought for me that last time, like I will pay for you. So that's just how I think. Like the evolution of dating is really weird, because I've talked to both of my parents about like how their dating experiences were like growing up or being in high school, and my mom and I have talked a lot about her dating experiences, because I think it's really fun to talk about, especially just to like kind of catch a glimpse of what the time was like then, in the like how dating was back then. And so like she went on quite a bit of dates, and like if you knew my mom, she doesn't actually seem like somebody who would go on a lot of dates. Like if she was a teenager in today's society, she would probably not go on dates at all. She would stay, like she'd be a homebody. But she like did go out quite a bit, which always surprises me just based on how she is. But she would say like, I think this is mean in my opinion, but like she would sometimes go out on dates with guys who she like didn't even really see a chance with. And I was like, girl, that's mean. Like why are you saying yes if you don't want to go on a date with them? And I guess I'm not saying you have to see potential with every single person that you want to date with, but to some degree, like I don't think it's right to just go on a date to go necessarily. If you're talking back and forth with this person and they're just like, please just like let me take you out, I think you definitely have to be straightforward about like what your intentions are. Tell them like, I don't really see like a romantic relationship with us, but like if you really 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 want to, I'll go on a date with you. But I just feel like it's like gonna lead them on. Like I don't know, even if you do that, I just feel like it's mean in a sense. I'm just not saying you can't give anyone a chance, but I don't think it's right to give someone the opportunity to catch more feelings for you when you can't reciprocate them. That's what I'm trying to say. So dating has definitely changed so much though. I think people used to date more, or maybe I just don't know them in the time now, like current, because I don't really have friends my age who are like just local, and like I didn't go to high school, and I know like some dating goes around in high school, but I don't really know how it works. TBH, like I know people use apps more nowadays, but you have to be like over 18, and even that, like actually apps, that's its own category. We're gonna take a break and I'll come back and talk about apps. So the apps, which we've got Hinge, we've got Tinder, we've got like Facebook dating now, we've got Bumble, also known as What's Left. Let's just get into it. Dating apps have made it like, I think that's the current version of like fast dating, or like dating around, is through apps. And what do we expect? Almost everything's done on an app now. Like people order food from an app. You can like stream from an app. You can shop from your phone. Like, why not date from your phone? You know what I mean? I don't think it's necessarily right, but it's like, what did we expect to happen? Everything. You can do everything online, everything on your phone, basically. So I'm not too surprised by it, but even the evolution of dating apps, like I remember as a child seeing commercials for, what was it called? Like eHarmony, was that what it's called? Or like farmersonly.com. Like I remember commercials for that on cable TV when I was a kid, and that was like a new thing, like internet dating. And I also remember like speed dating being a thing when I was a kid, which I think still happens. I've never, seen it in real life. I think singles events are the funniest thing. I've only seen one, but I wasn't actually old enough to go to it, but it was on a cruise and my brother went. But no, I don't think anyone even showed up, or like it didn't happen or something. But I think singles events are so funny. And speed dating, honestly, I think would be really fun. I think I would like to do it, because that's not really like, you're not committing to a whole date. You're really just committing to like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know how they do it, but like to get to know people would be really fun. And also just see people like nervous. I would really vibe with that. But yeah, I remember the internet dating becoming a thing, and I was like, this is crazy. And the apps today, it's just like so quick, and there's so many people. It's oversaturated. There's so many people. And like I have seen the apps, I've been on the apps, and I've never actually like gone through with anyone on an app ever. And it's just because like okay, of course there's the people who is like, okay, like I tap or I like, which is rare. Let me tell you that it's rare. And so that's why it's even more rare for me to actually match with any of those people. But it has happened, and sometimes they're like, okay, I think like the best match that I've ever had, they lived in Hawaii. So I was like, queen, like, I'll probably never see you, but, And actually, they ended up ghosting me. I would have kept talking, honestly. But the people who, like, first of all, I don't really match that often because I don't like that many people. And also, I do, like, set my filters pretty tight. Call me shallow. I don't really care. I don't think it's shallow, but I guess I'm like, I do know what I want, and that's why I haven't gone on dates with people. Or I know an idea of what I want. I know what I don't want. That's it. That's what it is. I might not know what I want exactly, but I know what I don't want. And so when I see people, oftentimes, like, even if I talk to people or they're like super nice to me, they throw me a bunch of compliments, and I love that and I appreciate that. But it's like, I'm not going to meet with somebody if I don't see the potential, or if I know it's something I'm going to have to settle for. We're not doing that. We're not settling for relationships, like, anymore from here on out. Like, I know I'm still young, but in my head, I'm like, you're getting old. Not getting old, but, like, for dating, I'm going to turn 20 in the summer. And it's like, that's not old at all. I know. Don't come for me. But I just, like, I mean, you should never settle, but now's the time to really be like, no, we're done. We're done. We're moving into the adult relationships. People need to act adult. People, like, we're not playing games. We don't have time for games. At the end of the day, I'm busy. I have a lot of jobs, and I want a lot of jobs, and I want to focus on my career. So, like, you can't have someone who's just, like, not an adult at the end of the day. So, the apps, I've never actually gone through with meeting anybody because it's just not worth it. And I know that it's like, I know my standards are high, but I don't want to lower them for anyone, because, like, I know there are people who exist and there's going to be someone who's the right person. So we're not lowering the standards just yet. I kind of want to leave the country and see if my chances are better outside of the US or even a different state, outside of Georgia. We'll see. But yeah, the apps are fun, even though I don't really go through with them. I think the apps are fun because I think creating a profile is, like, way too much fun for me. It shouldn't be. But I like filling out forms, and I like filling out, like, profiles on new socials. I love filling out a profile, like, picking photos. Doing the prompts on these apps is so much fun for me. It shouldn't be. And I think that's the reason why, like, I've been on so many, even if I've taken them off, because I'm like, oh, should I try it out for a while? And then I'm like, oh, I just want to make the profile. Like, let's just make it. It's so much fun for me. But as far as what I'm looking for, because I did just say my standards are too high, and I think they are. What I'm looking for is, well, someone who's nice. We all want that. But it's like, they don't even have to be crazy nice as a person. They have to be respectful, yes. But, like, I want them to just be, like, sweet to me. We all want that. Let me get a little more niche. Something I am, like, very attracted to is duality, which we've talked about. And that's just because I like someone who can be, like, serious and, like, look kind of cold, but then also is just, like, a little, like, sweet little cute thing. Love that. But then I'm also looking for someone who's very proud of me, like I was saying earlier. I don't want anyone who is going to be trying to hide our relationship from anyone, whether people care or not. Like, you don't have to be the most confident person, but you have to be, like, confident in us and being with me. So, because that, like, I'm not going to let that slide anymore. That's my biggest thing. So I've actually said this to my brother. I'm like, when I meet someone who is, like, very proud of our relationship, is, like, I feel like even if they're not the one, I'm gonna be like, this is so much better. It's just gonna feel nice. Like, that's I think the main flaw that I'm looking to turn around. So yeah, it's gonna feel cool. I'm, like, not just saying, like, post me on Instagram, but also post me, okay? Because one thing about me, like, it shouldn't matter that much, but to me it does. And I like posting someone that I'm with just because I like showing off in a way. And it's like, I just like showing, because to me, when there's someone in my life, it's like, it takes priority, and not everyone does that. It's like, not like I'm not a career-based person or like a very career-focused person, because I feel like I am. But when I'm with someone, like my emotions that becomes my priority. Even if I'm super busy, I will make time for you. And I've noticed that not everyone does that, and it's confusing to me because I'm like, to me that's so normal and natural and like what I expect. So when I had a relationship where they weren't really like that, where they were like, I obviously want to spend time with you and do this and do that, but like I have to do this. It's okay to have your priorities, but it's just like I was never the first priority. And for me, if I'm with someone, like I will make them my priority, or I will think about them nonstop. It's not even like I make a choice. It's like I'm actually thinking about you all the time. I do get a little bit obsessed with like me and someone together. I get obsessed with the us part, or obsessed with the idea of all of us together. So that's why I like posting it, because I'm super proud of it. And it's really what I'm thinking about 24/7. So like, I'm also just big on social media, obviously. So I just like post things I love, post things I care about. And yeah, at the end of the day, just post me. It's not that hard also. I don't care who's following you. Maybe you have 0 followers, but like post me, please. I will love it. Like it'll make me feel so special. And it's stupid, but like I know there are so many of us that care about it. So just post us. Come on. We have a good handful of questions today, so we're going to jump into the segment Leckiju's Cues, because this is where you can submit questions on my Instagrams, either at Leckiju or at leckiju.kpop. And I ask questions every week, so you can put them in. You can ask for advice, you can tell me advice, or you can just like ask me questions about literally anything, and I'll answer them. So we have dating related questions specifically today. So this is, what we got. We have, the first question is, what is your favorite pickup line? T. I actually am not a huge fan of pickup lines. I will say that, but just because I'm like I was saying about like games, like I'm not really too into like making it performative in that way. I guess like I just prefer someone to be more straight up, or just like tell me the tea. Actually, no, even more than that, I would rather somebody just be like physically tell me. And that sounds like kind of silly, I know, but I don't mean like, push me around or like, grab me like that. I mean, hey, but I just mean like I'm big on like physical communication. So it's like that's what I would prefer. But I will say like pickup lines make me think of my brother, because he comes up with a lot of pickup lines just for fun, and he has used a good handful of them. Have they necessarily worked? I don't know, but they are funny. They oftentimes make people laugh, which is a good thing, I think. But it's like he'll tell me them and he's like, I just thought of that, and I'm like, very clever, queen. But he comes up with so many, and they're very cheesy. He told me one the other day where he was talking to someone, and the next day I think was Singles Day, like International Singles Day or something, and he said to someone, he was like, he was like, I heard tomorrow's Singles Day, should I celebrate, or something like that. He was like, do you think I should celebrate? I live. And I laughed at him, and I was like, that is so stupid. But then I gave it some time, and I was like, wait, you ate? Like, I would never say it, but you ate. Like, that's so funny. But I'm not really a big pickup line person. I kind of wish I was. But if someone comes up to me and, hits me with one, I'm probably going to laugh at them. Like, just be cool. Just be cool. And honestly, like, less is more when it comes to talking and words. Less is more, in my opinion, for me. Okay, the next thing we have, this is just advice. This is be attentive. I think it's attentive, but attentive. Am I like tripping? And polite. So bury that. This is just advice, I think, for dating in general. I think, paying attention, very good. Paying attention to your partner and like knowing them, to know what's going on, even if they're not going to tell you. Like, I guess being able to read their body language and like understand them as a person is so important, because you want to know what's going on, even if they're not telling you. And then also being polite, of course. Always be polite. Someone who's not polite and respectful in public with me, it's not, no, we're shutting that down. Like if you're someone, I'm trying to think of like small things that are like stupid. Like if you, like obviously a lot of people talk about this one, if you're not nice to like your server at a restaurant, or if you're not nice to anyone in like in a public place that's just doing their job, or like in a store or things like that, that is so, I'm not just saying for dating, that's like so annoying to me, because they're literally just doing their job. And say that they're bad at their job, that doesn't mean that like it's your responsibility to make them feel bad about themselves, or to like just bring them down in general, or be rude to them. It's just not your job. Okay, so move on. And that, no, if you're not polite, it's not going to work out with me. All right, next question says, why do people believe they need to go at a certain pace as if there are rules to the stages? Okay, so like in dating, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like people think that these stages of dating are like set in stone. And I think that's also started way back, decades back, that like, and it has evolved a little bit, but there's definitely like an understanding of the like first date type of thing, and then like maybe a second date, and then there's like a talking stage somewhere in there. And there's obviously relationships that work like that, and there's relationships that work where they're like, okay, we're gonna date for all this time, we're gonna get engaged, we're gonna wait until marriage to really do anything, and then we're gonna get married, have kids. Like there's just those stages. But then for some people, they get like unexpected, where they just like, they start their relationship with making out, or they start their relationship by hooking up, and then it becomes something more. And so there's really not a way to it, but I do know what you mean, that people think there's this like a set way for it. And even for themselves, like even if everyone's different, someone might not want to do it the same way that you're doing it. If y'all are like going out, some people may think this is too much on a second date. Some people are like, I want you to like I want you to kiss me on my first date. I don't know. It's really weird. And I've talked to my brother about this, that we were talking the other day how he had this relationship where he was like, at the end of one of our like dates, I like asked her, because my brother's very like big on consent when it comes to like kissing. He's not just gonna like grab somebody and like, or just like do it, which is good, and for some people is not good. Like I can see both sides of it. That's why he's kind of like confused of what people want, because he asked, he was like, is it okay if I kiss you now? Or he like, I don't know, he just like asked consent, right? And then, but in his head, he was going to kiss her on the head, because he's also big on like, I don't know, I call him old-timey when it comes to this. He's just very traditional. Like he really appreciates, like he loves kissing on the hand, like the head, the cheek, things like that. He's just like, it's just very cutesy to him, and like that's very romantic to him. So he asked, and then she was like, gave the consent, and he kissed her on the head. But he said that like he thinks she might have leaned towards like wanting to, kiss on the lips, but he didn't, because like to him that would be too fast. But then, this relationship didn't work kind of shortly after that. So it's like, and it just like didn't last. And he was telling me, he was like, maybe if I had done that, like would things have gone differently? And he's, it's probably for the best it didn't, but at the same time, you do wonder things like that. Like, was that not what she wanted? Was that like a sign to her? I don't know. It's really crazy. People really want different things, but I say sometimes my brother is just like too nice or too respectful when it comes to that, because when he loves someone, or like likes someone even, he definitely puts them on a pedestal and like treats them very nicely. And a lot of girls actually don't want to be treated nicely, and that sounds terrible, but like there were people that I've even like tried to set my brother up with in a way, or like to ask out, and that I thought he would like, and then like I didn't know them that well. And later I realized, I was like, no, she does not actually want to be treated nicely, regardless of what she says, or if she wants like something. She kept getting with guys after that were, not treating her right, or like not respecting her, but she still like goes back to them and still like wants that. Like, she actually did want that. And I was like, now that I think about it, I'm like, now looking back, I'm so glad, because my brother is too nice. And I'm like, you don't want somebody who's nice. That's just the tea. My brother is like so sweet to people that he likes and cares about and loves. So it's like, so whoever the woman's going to be is going to be so lucky, and she's going to be put on a pedestal. And there are people who want that. So we're just going to wait out for her. Okay. The next is, how come people think sex is necessary in a relationship? Okay. So people think definitely this. Like I was saying, how some people want to wait until marriage. That's totally fine. That's valid. Good for them, but that sounded judgmental. And I don't mean that, but I'm just like a little bit confused by it. I do get it, but I also like, it's just hard for me to, I guess, understand and agree with that. Like, I just personally I don't agree with it, but it's definitely fine for whether like it's your own personal reasons, or if it's religious, that's fine too. But like, some people definitely think it's necessary, and there's people who think it's like, okay, this is just for reproduction. There's people who, obviously don't care. They just like throw their body around all the time. And some people think that it's, comes at a certain point. It comes after this many dates. And I don't think, like, personally, I don't think it's necessary for everyone. Do I think it's necessary for me? Yes. But it's like, I could also survive without it. It's not that big a deal. Some people maybe couldn't, but it's like, I think what they're saying is they don't like necessarily need that. And that's totally valid. That's totally good. I think it's just like a matter of communicating with your partner, like what do they want versus what they need, because need is real. And what do you want and what do you need, and what are you willing to like compromise for each other? Because sometimes people are like, no, I'm waiting till marriage, but the other person might not have wanted to do that before. And I think there should be some conversations going on, and some definitely making some sacrifices, I guess, because in order for things to work out, you have to communicate and make sacrifices. So that's that. I personally, for me, yes, it is something that like I would want in a relationship and look for, but it's also not necessary. It's definitely not necessary. Like, yes, if you want a family, yes, you can also adopt. So there's that. You don't even have to. But, it's just whatever you need. I honestly can't answer that, why people think that, but they definitely do. I know you're right. And some people like start their relationship with that. Well, that is all the Leckiju's cues all complete. I liked those questions today. They're kind of deep. I don't remember how far I just dove into those, but I really have wanted to talk about dating for a while. I think it's a super fun topic, but also a very serious topic. So I hope you enjoyed it too. Comment what kind of content you want to see, or if you like this, I can talk more. I'm sure I can always talk more, but please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video and turn on the post notifications so that you never miss an upload from me. You can find my Instagrams at Leckiju or at leckiju.kpop, or you can also find me on TikTok at Leckiju212. It's all linked in the link tree on this channel, so that's the easiest way to find it, but I'm going to put it right here for you anyways. Thank you. See you guys next time. Bye.